Hello, everyone. So, the thing I want to talk about today is we worked on two methods that kind of connected the dot between just regular methods that we've been learning and then working with some methods that work with arrays. So I just wanted to give a little supplemental advice and kind of perspective on how to kind of maybe use those methods effectively, test them out, see if they worked. So the first method we were writing, and this is a solution, this is not the only solution, yours probably looks a little different, but it's to number the song. That's the purpose of this method. It's going to take in a string, that's the song title, and an int, that's the song number, for example. And basically, if it's less than 10, it puts a little 0 on the front, but then otherwise, it just puts the number and the song Word document right here. And again, just give a little example. It is something along these lines, where if you call the song, number song, on Here Comes the Sun, classic song, which is number 1, it returns 0, 1, here comes with a little space, and a pretty simple method, right? It's just kind of concatenating some strings. And again, if you type in 17, it's not going to say 0, 17. All it gives is just that actual number. So that's just a little motivation behind the method. So we'll go back here. And so the question is, okay, well, did I get it right? Well, so what we can do is sometimes, obviously, we'd maybe build some interactive form of it with some scanner objects and stuff like that. But sometimes you just want to test to see if it worked. So if we look right here, I just made a little simple song 1. And then here's the method. It's a static method. I passed that song in there, as well as, we'll start with the number 3. Actually, I can't remember what track it is on Led Zeppelin's album, but let's see if it works. And there it is, right? But just to test it out, if we put in 12, it should also work. So there you go. So that was the first method that we wrote. Again, you type in your answer, get it to work, do this little simple test. Now, let's study the next method that we wrote, which is to number all the songs. So again, the idea behind this one is that we wrote a method that's called number all songs. It takes in an array of strings and returns an array of strings, right? So here's the original array of strings, Overture, Sister Suffragette, The Life of Lead, those are the song names, and then it outputs. So it's a little kind of a fun problem here that then would number all of your songs appropriately. If you can't tell, obviously we are using that original method, or that method that we wrote, the number song method, and using it multiple times in an array. So this is a very similar style to a problem that you would see on the AP, which is one of the reasons why we're studying it. So again, I'm going to bookend it. Here's my string answer. That's kind of one of the little keys, is that you took the length. Some of y'all might have made another different variable and then passed the variable. Either way, here's my for loop. And I go through to walk through the array. Now I kind of split it out. So first of all, here's string song. That just, again, I could have just put this all in one line. However, I kind of want to show it out just to see the motivation. So obviously I'm taking all songs of I, right? Here's this array of songs. I'm going to take in that particular thing and grab that value, put it in song. Then I'm also taking the number that I want, and if you notice, here's my little example. That's one of the things you want to do, is study the examples. You notice that the position is a little different than the song number, because in computer science we start at 0. Most everything else starts counting at 1, and so there's a little difference there, and therefore that's the number, the song number I could call it, but just the number is I plus 1. I'm going to pass both of those things into the method which again calculates, and which we've already tested works correctly, and then stores it into the particular answer array, and then returns that answer. Great. Now that seems like a reasonable solution, but does it work? Well, so the last thing that we're going to study is that I can actually write just a little helper method that basically, kind of cleans up my code. I could put all this code up here in the main method, but I'm going to do it down here, and this way you can kind of see, and this I can modify it. Maybe I could pull it from a file, all sorts of different things. So here's my little method that returns an array of strings. I'm just going to call it get songs. And here's some of those songs, just a few of them. So now let's test it out. So this, I'll just comment these out, and so I'll do, now to make it kind of more visible, string, I'll call it songs equals get songs. All right, basically I'm just calling that method. Why can I do that? Well, if I look at that method, right, I'm getting the get songs, right? It's going to return an array of strings, and then it's going to put it into this variable, right? Well, great. Then I'm going to now I'm going to use that array of the original strings. I'm going to make a new array, string album list, album songs, or something. I call it album songs. So like that's when it's modified. Then I'm going to do equals, and I'm going to call this method number all songs of that songs variable, right? So I'm going to take that get songs, which is these ones right here. This is where it gets kind of fun tracing the methods, right? This is a big part of programming, is being able to kind of walk through and do all these different functionalities. There's probably more efficient ways to do this, or as you study and get more knowledge and abilities, but I think this is using tools that you do know how to use, that you have learned. So now what I'm going to do, we'll see why we have to do this later, but I'm just going to for actually, we can use an enhanced for loop for string x in album songs. It's going to print out each of the individual items in there. So I'm just going to do system.out.println x. Okay. So that should just print out all, see if it worked, basically. Okay, so let's run it, and hopefully, I haven't done this yet. So hey, there we go. Take a look. And off by 1. I have to be careful. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I was originally going to put more songs. I declared it to 5. So we'll study the null later on. But there's really only 4 songs, so I'll just kind of modify it there. But anyway, run it again. And there you go. Right. So it's nice. Actually, kind of feels pretty cool that I solved one problem, and then I solved it in general, and now I could plug in. I mean, like theoretically, I could, get from a file 1,000 songs in my collection, or something like that, or an album, or then I could maybe even make another method that takes in multiple arrays and does it automatically, or write a little for loop that would do it for all of the songs, all the albums that I have. There you go. So hopefully that's helpful. That gives you a little motivation for what we're learning, and gives you direction if you wanted to test out some of these other methods that we will be writing and solving problems ourselves.